All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're putting together a field guide for one of the ocean's most incredible reptiles, the green sea turtle, also known as Chelonia mydas. And this creature, it's a real heavyweight. In fact, it holds the title for the largest of all the hard-shelled sea turtles. They are absolutely essential to the health of our marine world. But the most famous thing about it, its name, is also the most misunderstood. So, why green? I mean, it's a fair question. It's definitely not because of its shell. If you actually look at one, you'll see its carapace, that's the top part of the shell, ranges from a really nice olive to a dark mottled brown. Not exactly emerald green. Well, the secret is actually under the shell. The name comes from the greenish color of its body fat, which is a direct result of its diet, a whole lot of seagrass and algae. So now that we've cleared that up, let's get into the nitty-gritty of our field guide and figure out how to properly identify one of these amazing animals. For any of us working in marine biology, getting the identification right out in the field is of course the first and most critical step. So what exactly are we looking for to set the green turtle apart? The key identifiers are subtle, but they're absolutely crucial. You want to look for that smooth, teardrop-shaped carapace and its small, blunt head. That head shape is a dead giveaway that distinguishes it from, say, the hawksbill turtle, which has a much sharper beak. And speaking of its mouth, its lower jaw is finely serrated, kind of like a saw, a perfect adaptation for munching on all that seagrass. Get those details right, and you'll know for sure you're looking at Chelonia mydas. So where can you find them? Well, green turtles are true global travelers. You'll find them in tropical and subtropical waters all over the world. But here's the fascinating part. Their address, and really their entire way of life, changes dramatically as they get older. Okay, so right after they hatch and make that mad dash for the water, they enter what's called a pelagic phase. That just means they live out in the open ocean. For years, they live this really secretive life near the surface, often hanging out in these huge floating mats of sargassum seaweed for food and shelter. We actually call these the lost years because, honestly, we so rarely see them during this time. But then, once they get to a certain size, everything changes. They make this massive move, migrating from the open ocean to shallow coastal areas, what we call neritic zones. This is where they'll settle down for the rest of their lives, and this big move triggers a huge change in their biology. And that habitat shift we just talked about, it's directly connected to one of the green turtle's most unique traits, something that makes it stand out from all other sea turtles. This just perfectly sums up their ecological role. You see, during those lost years out in the open ocean, they're omnivores. They'll eat small invertebrates, jellyfish, whatever they can find. But once they move to the coast, they become the only species of sea turtle that's primarily a herbivore. They basically become the gardeners of the sea, just constantly grazing on seagrass and algae. This is so important because it keeps those underwater meadows healthy and productive. Now, to get from those coastal feeding grounds all the way back to the exact beaches where they were born, green turtles undertake some of the most unbelievable migrations in the entire animal kingdom. And I mean, we're talking about epic distances. Some populations have been tracked traveling over 4,000 kilometers. That's almost 2,500 miles one way. Just try to imagine swimming from French Polynesia all the way to New Caledonia. It's just incredible. Which, of course, brings up a huge question. How in the world do they navigate so perfectly across thousands of kilometers of what looks like a featureless ocean, ending up on the very same stretch of sand where they hatched? Well, the answer lies in their amazing built-in navigation toolkit. It's not just one thing, it's a whole suite of sophisticated senses. They have an internal magnetic compass, which lets them sense the Earth's magnetic field. It's like a biological GPS. They can also use the direction of the waves, the position of the sun, and even tiny changes in water temperature to stay on course. It's just stunningly accurate. But, this complex life, full of long migrations and shifting habitats, needing both land and sea to survive, it also creates enormous challenges. And sadly, it's put them on the endangered species list. Their very life story presents a huge conservation challenge. I mean, they can live for over 70 years, but they don't even reach sexual maturity until they're somewhere between 25 and 35 years old. Think about that. This really slow-paced life means that any conservation efforts we start today, well, we might not see the full impact for decades. And that really brings us to the most important takeaway for anyone studying this species. These turtles, they don't recognize our borders. Their survival isn't just a local issue, it's a global one. Protecting the green turtle, this incredible long-distance traveler and vital gardener of our oceans, it really requires all of us to think beyond our own coastlines and to work together as a global community.